and I'm feeling good.
Shortly before I came on the show, I ran through my blog rolls and noticed that Richard Dawkins was coming under fire, apparently for having signed some online petition.
Your blog rolls?
You
know, toilet paper in Britain is a bog roll. Just, you want to be careful about that term.
Never heard of that.
Yeah.
So I was going through reader.google.com, which I use to read all my blogs, and I will shamelessly plug it because it's a great site. And so I discovered Dawkins taking some heat for having signed an online petition saying that, was it in Britain or America? Do you know?
It was in Great Britain. It's actually a test run system for people to submit petitions directly to 10 Downing Street. I mean, it's a way for them to address the government.
The petition said that parents should not be allowed to indoctrinate their kids with religion before the age of 16. And this struck a lot of people as very scary and a bad idea because, what's indoctrination and how is this different from a law that would say parents are legally forbidden to teach their kids about atheism? Right. And Dawkins, like a couple of minutes before I left, I found that Dawkins had basically recanted and posted a reply to this saying, I'm sorry, I didn't read the petition carefully, and my bad.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to sign it.
And he's asked that his name be removed.
Having just read The God Delusion, which Matt lent me, I still find myself not completely in agreement or not sure what Dawkins is trying to get at when he says that religious indoctrination is child abuse. And I'm still not really happy with that part of the book.
I happen to agree with him.
Yeah, I know.
It's just really hard to define, which is why I couldn't possibly support the petition.
I don't think Dawkins should be writing in his book that it's child abuse if he's not willing to sign a petition that, in effect, treats it like child abuse.
Well,
you would damn well sign a petition that said parents are not allowed to abuse their children until age 16. You damn well would sign that.
Well,
so if it's abuse, it's abuse. If it's not abuse, it's not abuse.
Let me clarify his wording a bit.
I have the whole thing.
What he says in his book, I think, is not teaching your kids about religion as child abuse. It's you shouldn't call a kid a Christian child because they're too young to know any better. And if you foist a religion on them like that, then that's child abuse.
Okay.
And somebody on this very blog post made the point that, well, would you call a kid an English kid or an American kid? You know, they're too young to have read the Declaration of Independence or the Magna Carta.
Doesn't matter if they ever read it. They're born a citizen of the country.
Yeah.
Well, that's true.
A more accurate analogy would be, would you call a kid a Republican kid or a Democrat kid?
Yeah.
Until they've actually made up their mind about it. I have the post that Dawkins made.
But I also wouldn't call it child abuse to do it.
Well, there are degrees of child abuse, and we have a society where we are more and more willing to let the government intrude on what would normally be a parent's right to raise their child however they want. Children are generally considered property for all intents and purposes, and parents have pretty much free reign. We have gradually started to say, no, you can't do whatever you want with your kid. We're opposed to physical child abuse, and we're becoming more and more opposed to mental child abuse, allowing the government to step in.
And there have been cases like that Jehovah's Witness family that didn't want to let their daughter have a blood transfusion.
Christian Science. Well, that one was probably Jehovah's Witness. But Christian Scientists, they've actually killed their kids, essentially, by refusing medical treatment.
Ironic that you bring that up.
And the government allows them to do this. It's been tried.
Over the weekend, or I guess not over the weekend, or during the week, I was exploring MySpace, where I now have a MySpace page. Search for Jeff D. or Unigames, which is the name of my game company.
Am I in your top 8?
Yes. Tell Ginny
good.
to accept my MySpace invitation, because she apparently has not been back to MySpace for about a month. And all kinds of people from the ACA are in there, and I've got Reverend Ivan Stang from the Church of the Subgenius, and there's a guy who does a James Randi page, though I don't think James Randi himself actually runs it. Anyway, I discovered a blog where there's an ongoing discussion about creationism versus evolution. And it's actually on a MySpace page that has to do with some reggae band.
So that happens all the time on the internet.
It's been interesting that these are like Rastafarian kind of Christians objecting to evolution. So I posted some comments about,
hey man, I didn't come from no monkey.
And then this woman posts something saying, basically, can't we just all get along? Can't we agree to simply disagree and not
I hate that
argue
phrase.
And not argue with each other and and try to get other people to see that they're wrong? And my response was, well, I think the answer is no, because, for example, Christian Scientists and Jehovah's Witnesses that will deny necessary medical care to their kids.
The example that I used when I was replying on the blog, consider the group Prussian Blue. The two little blonde-headed white separatist kids. They've been indoctrinated from childhood.
Child abuse to call them white separatist kids.
No, they are.
How old are they?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
What the point is that they are because they've been indoctrinated. But that's the problem. You've got these kids who, before they were old enough to know any better, had their minds polluted by a religious doctrine that establishes that whites are supreme and others are inferior, much the way that Mormonism used to be, although they've avoided doing that recently. And now they're singing these hate songs, and they're little girls. That, to me, is fucking child abuse. All day, all the time, I'll say it everywhere. It's hard to define what you can and can't teach your kids and what ideas you should and shouldn't be able to pass on to them. But that, to me, destroying a mind, because when you're a parent, I mean, a kid's mind is malleable. You can mold that kid to be whatever you want. And what we're seeing is people, although they have the best intentions and they believe that they're correct and they believe that they're passing on the truth, are basically performing psychological and sociological experiments with their kids. They don't realize that that's what they're doing, but essentially they're trying to see how fucked up of a kid we can possibly generate.
Woo, 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 woo.